In my mind, a celebration, sweetest of sensation. Thinking you could be mine. I should be so lucky. Lucky, lucky, lucky. I should be so lucky in love.
It's Breaking the News with Des Clark.
Clark, and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. As always, I'm joined by some of the best comedians from across the country. On my right are Jay Lafferty and Roscoe McClelland, and facing off against them are Stuart McPherson and Karen Bartkey. In the news this week, Norwegian police have discovered 800 kilograms of cocaine hidden in fruit. Luckily, they got it at Oslo Airport as it was due to be delivered to Scotland, where those drugs would never have been found. A man in the UK has gone viral after accidentally ordering 60 pairs of glasses. Tom Arnold from Cornwall was embarrassed to find a small mountain of reading glasses arrive on his doorstep, especially when he realised he already had 60 pairs on his head. And Scotland's Ailish McColgan has smashed her own British record to win a half marathon in Berlin. The Dundonian admitted she hit the wall during her run, although on the plus side, 30 odd years ago, that would have got you shot. Right, you've met the panel, let's crack on with round one. This is the Broken News round, where our teams have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. Before we get started, there is one big story hitting the headlines this week, but as it's an ongoing investigation, we are unable to cover it for the moment. You can find coverage of it elsewhere across BBC News in Scotland and, bizarrely, also on the Beechgrove Garden. Jay and Roscoe, can you tell me what this is all about?
Donald Trump has
defended the Butte House agreement with the Scottish Greens, saying it
was an insult to America. Last night, the former US president pleaded not guilty to hiding
Humza Yousaf
during the 2016 election.
Is Trump back again? Honestly, I've had hemorrhoids that I've been happier see return to the spotlight than Donald Trump. I mean, more than anything else, I've just not got any Trump material left. Like, I've done everything. I've done his hair, I've done his small appendages, I've done the fact that he's a narcissistic psychopath. There's nothing left to say about the man.
Jay, well done for the right answer, and because Jay's saying nothing about Donald Trump, we can only assume she's been paid $130,000. It is indeed the news that Donald Trump has pleaded not guilty to falsifying business records to hide damaging information ahead of the 2016 election. The former president was charged with 34 felony counts in a Manhattan court on Tuesday, making him the first president ever to be indicted on criminal charges. The charges stem from a hush money payment to porn star Stormy Daniels, who says that they had an adulterous affair.
And what I can't get my head around is that he raised $1.5 million the week that he announced that he was going to be arrested, like 2 weeks ago. And people are giving him $1.5 million for him to be arrested for fraud. It's like you hear people in trailer parks are giving a multi-millionaire money to defend himself against a porn star so that he can become president for the second time. It's insane.
No.
It's like, when you hear things like that, you think to yourself, maybe America should give communism a shot.
Roscoe, what do you make of it? Did you think that you would ever see the day Donald Trump was arrested?
He'll never see the inside of a jail cell, right? I think it still feels like it's some sort of master plan that he's got, because he wrote a book called The Art of the Deal, right? And when you think about it, he paid Stormy Daniels $130,000 worth of hush money, which, to be fair, I hope he got a receipt because there's been no hush about it.
I've heard about it.
But I heard that another court actually ordered Stormy Daniels the other day to pay Trump back $121,000, right? So basically, he's actually got some bargain there, really. He's only paid like $9,000 to sleep with a porn star. And I'm starting to think about reading this book, to be honest.
Well, there you go. What a way to sum it up, and what a week it's been for Donald Trump.
So he's been arrested and he's charged with 34 felonies. He can still run for president. He can't vote in the election, though, if he gets convicted. So as a convicted felon, he can't vote, but he can be the president. We are doomed as a species.
What do you think about this then, Stuart? Big week, of course. Did you think that we'd ever see the day when Donald Trump was arrested?
It's so funny to me that this is what they've got him on. Do you know what I mean? Like, of all the years, of all the dodgy stuff and all the illegal stuff and the immoral stuff, like this is what it feels like. You know, like it's like someone getting away with a murder and then getting caught stealing a Twix. This.
He did appear in court. That was a big moment this week. Jay, did you catch that? What did you make of Donald Trump's court appearance?
Did you see his lawyer's face? It was like the expression of somebody carrying a lit birthday cake into a fireworks factory.
I used to work across from the Hamilton Sheriff Court. And
Similar.
very different, you know. Like I turned on the TV. I was expecting to see like Melania outside wearing a Lacoste trackie, with a pram and a half bottle, going Alvin Bragg is a grass.
I did particularly enjoy the guy that just totally smacked him in the face with the door. And the only thing I missed was I was really hoping there was more doors. I kind of wanted it to be one of those things where over time he just kept getting banged in the face.
So he said, he was like, the only crime I'm guilty of is defending America. And I was like, don't admit to more crimes.
Take the 34 and we might get away with it. The judge in Donald Trump's case is called Juan Merchan. Not to be confused with the judge at Hamilton Sheriff Court, which is Juan Merchants. There we go. Donald Trump facing historic charges is the right answer. Jay and Roscoe, well done. You get 2 points for that. Now to you, Stuart and Karen. What was the other story we were after?
I'm assuming this is about Fergus Ewing demanding the SNP government break their agreement with the Greens.
Yes, it is the news that First Minister Humza Yousaf has defended the Butte House agreement with the Scottish Greens and said it has brought stability to government. It comes after former SNP Minister Fergus Ewing branded the party's coalition partners fringe extremists, which is also what people call Claudia Winkleman.
That's so true. How could she see where she's going?
So there you go. Criticism coming in for Humza Yousaf here. Do you think the First Minister will stick by the Greens?
The extremist thing really makes me laugh. I don't know about you. It's just such a crazy word to use in this context. Like, I don't know about you. When I picture extremists, I picture, you know, bombs, guns, and then you see the Greens, and they're just like recycling.
What do you think? Do you think Humza Yousaf will stick by the Greens?
I think after this week, the question will be, will the Greens stick with him? Do you know, like, Liz Truss was famously beaten by a lettuce, and Hamza's now considering that lettuce for a cabinet position. In the hope it'll keep Patrick Harvey happy. Stop them leaving the party.
What do you think about this then, Roscoe? Think he'll stick by the Greens?
Well, this is the thing, right? I just got back from 2 months in Australia, not caring or even noticing any Scottish news, so I have no idea who this guy is. What happened to Nicola Sturgeon? Where is she? I don't know. Who's this guy? You know, like, I don't know anything about him. I don't know what he likes, what he dislikes. So to answer the question, will he stick by the Greens? I would have to say he might. But then again, he might not.
That is the level of insight that gets you on every single series of this show, Roscoe. The new Glenn Campbell, ladies and gentlemen. There we go, that is the right answer. What have you made of Humza's first week in charge, Jay?
I mean, it's not been the best of starts, has it? Really? I mean, his greatest accomplishment so far is to make Alex Salmond and the Alba party look like an option.
There's a bonus there somewhere. Roscoe, you were in Australia for most of this, so you probably missed what happened, but the First Minister is now Humza Yousaf. He's been in charge for about a week. You've been back for probably about that time. What have you made of his first week in charge?
Well, I ran out of oat milk like halfway through the week. And I only like a coffee now with oat milk in it. And I didn't want to go to do a big shop because I'd recently done one, and I knew if I went back I would end up spending more. I'd buy more things than oat milk, you know. So, but then the other day I stopped into my smaller local shop to get some chopped pork, make a sandwich, and I found that shop now, since I've been away, is actually stocking oat milk. So I think he's doing great.
First Minister Humza Yousaf has defended the Bute House agreement with the Scottish Greens, saying it has brought stability to government. Bute House is, of course, the First Minister's official residence, and also what an Australian says when he really likes your bungalow. And there we have it. Well done, Stuart and Karen. You get 2 points for that. It was indeed the mash-up of former President Donald Trump in court and trouble around the SNP Greens coalition. And at the end of that round, well done. The teams are all square. Much of our news is about public opinion, so to find out what stories people are talking about this week, we've spoken to broadcaster and presenter of the afternoon show here on Radio Scotland, Nicola Meehan, and veteran broadcaster Bill Whiteford. So, Stuart and Karen, what story do you think Nicola is on about here?
I misread it as fun size, not full size. And so now all I can imagine is mini Milky Ways and Mars bars cruising their way across the river. I can't drive, so I'm all for ways of getting around. But I have to say, I'm going to be gutted if this doesn't play out like a Burnt Island sequel to Herbie Goes Bananas.
So they're going to trial self-driving buses along from Fife to Edinburgh along the Forth Road Bridge.
That's the right answer. Well done. Yes, next month, in what is believed to be a world first, self-driving buses will hit the road, then a bush, and the side of a building before finally going on fire. Yes, Stagecoach has announced that the groundbreaking service over Scotland's Forth Road Bridge will start mid-May. The engineers who created the self-driving bus said the hardest bit was getting the bus into a photo booth to take its driving licence picture. So well done, Stuart. That was the right answer. Self-driving buses. Would you ride one?
Yeah, I mean, I like any advanced technology. Any travel into the future is great. I mean, I've got that. I'm from Fife and I go to Edinburgh a lot, so I've been on that route a lot, and it's always felt futuristic to me on account of it leaving Fife. So this will just be an extra layer on top of that.
Are you a fan? Would you go on one?
To be honest, not really. I've never had any particular desire to see the Forth Road Bridge from underneath. And I imagine those final plummeting moments wouldn't be as much fun as they're making it out. No.
This bus has got oars. What's happening? Roscoe, what about you? You've heard all about it. Self-driving buses. They are going to be launched in a world first next month. Would you ride one?
Absolutely not, because like the bus driver is the only thing that stops a bus from turning into chaos. Like, have you ever been upstairs in a double-decker bus? Like, there's no driver up there, so it's like a lawless zone.
I don't trust computers because I can't tell you the amount of times that my sat-nav has tried to plunge me into the sea. My sat-nav does that all the time, isn't it? If I blindly followed my sat-nav, my Citroen would have been wild swimming more times than a woman in her 60s.
You've mentioned a crucial point there, the importance of the human driver. Stuart, I'll come back to you in this. Do you think there's something comforting about having a human driver?
It's like that AI thing, I suppose. I was reading an essay the other day by Nick Cave. He got asked about, it was like, could a robot write a song? He's like, well, it could, but it's not got the well of human emotion, and, you know, heartbreak and loss and happiness. No robot could replicate that. And I think that's the same with bus drivers, because a robot can drive a bus, sure, but can it, you know, sit and read the paper for 10 minutes before it lets you on? Can it nip out for a fag and leave you on the bus?
Roscoe, what about you? We're talking about ways to improve public transport in Scotland. How would you do it?
Thank you. Finally, I've never been on one, you know. And I'm 34. Glaswegians will live till about 55. So time's a ticking, you know. I would love to just get in the middle bit and get bent about, you know. Just... It seems like such a laugh, and I live in East Kilbride, and that is a town made entirely of roundabouts. If I've ever seen a town built for a bendy bus, it's that.
Of course, the new computer-driven buses will at least allow school children to be more inventive with their excuses. Sorry I'm late, sir. My bus was hacked by the North Koreans. There we go. Self-driving buses to Fife is the right answer. Stuart and Karen, you get 2 points for that. Now to you, Jay and Roscoe. What do you think Bill is talking about here?
I'm amazed that it was 50 years ago. These things have changed so much. I mean, initially, they were a means of communication just really between two people. Now, they really do everything. They almost control our lives. And it seems amazing that it started 50 years ago.
Basically, it is the invention of the mobile phone.
Yes, this week marks 50 years since the first ever mobile phone call was made. That's right, on April the 3rd, 1973, Motorola engineer Marty Cooper stood on a corner of 6th Avenue in New York, took a phone from his pocket and said the very first words into a mobile phone, which were, I'll need you to be quick, I've only got one bar.
I think it's amazing to see how much they've evolved. So, like, the idea that you could speak to someone personally from, like, anywhere in the world was just mind-blowing back 50 years ago. And now they've evolved to a point where we primarily use them to avoid actually having to speak to anyone. Like, we'll text, we Insta chat, we airdrop, we email. And the only people who actually ever voice call me are my husband to tell me he's lost his keys again, and people wanting to talk to me about minor car accidents that I have never had.
I mean, I found it quite mind-blowing. Speaking as a 50-year-old, I was thinking, wow, mobile phones have existed my entire life, and I think they may be perimenopausal too. Because they're increasingly confusing, they heat up unexpectedly, the battery sometimes just goes, you don't know why. So yeah, it came as a bit of a shock.
Stuart, what do you think? Have we become too reliant on mobile phones? Could you go a day without it?
No, I'd really struggle. I'm like everyone, I'm really bad, terrible for it. And I always try little harebrained schemes to sort of trick myself, like I'm my own dog kind of thing, trick me into not using it. And I put like a blocker on certain apps, like Twitter and Instagram, like I'll be on an hour a day and then it'll shut me off or whatever. But I'm still picking up the phone, I'm just on more boring apps. I'm just like staring at my current account with RBS, just gonna send someone a $5 just to feel something.
Roscoe, how does your first mobile phone compare to your current one?
Well, my first phone never had a camera on it, and now looking back on that, I feel great. The cameras are getting too good, right? The cameras are getting better, and I'm getting worse looking. That's the issue. They keep adding like megapixels on it, and I'm like a 2 megapixel guy. Can we?
My first mobile phone was like a very Glaswegian phone, in that people far away couldn't understand what I was saying. It had a very short shelf life and it was orange. But my current phone is much more Edinburgh in that it looks really nice, but it doesn't really function most of the time, and it only responds to me if I talk in an English accent. And it's also ridiculously expensive. So.
Times have changed. 50 years of mobile phone calls is the right answer, and 2 points go to Jay and Roscoe. You're listening to Breaking the News on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who is in the news. I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So, Jay and Roscoe, you're first this time. Who is this?
I've heard them in the roof and the walls, and then they made their way into the house. They like to sit in the tree and on the fence and wind me up and have a look at me because I can't catch them. If I tap the ceiling, I can hear their nuts rattling on the ceiling.
Of all the things I thought we'd get complaints for this week, that wasn't there. Well,
I think it's the woman in Ayrshire who has been terrorised by squirrels.
That's the right answer. Well done, Jay. The woman in question is Michelle Collins of Ayrshire, who says that she's been left scared to enter her kitchen after being terrorised by grey squirrels that have taken over her home for the last 3 years. Known for their sharp teeth, chubby cheeks and being covered in fur, people from Ayrshire are actually lovely. Please don't judge them in what you're hearing right now.
She's been terrorised for 3 years. See, 3 years. See, after 3 weeks, I'd have burnt down the entire foot. Like any trees around me, I'd have burnt them to the ground. I'd have the family sitting in the lawn with a bag of peanuts and a taser.
The big question here is, how do we get rid of them?
Prison yard rules. Find the biggest one, knock its lights out.
Stuart, what do you think? How do we solve this problem? How do we get rid of the squirrels?
Move is the short answer, I suppose. We had mice during the first lockdown, which is, like, I suppose, it's a good time to have them, you know, a little project. Why not? No banana bread for me, thank you. And, yeah, we couldn't get rid of them, but, you know, we wanted to use a humane trap. It's too humane in the end. It was luxurious. Like, hanging around. And I got peanut butter in, because I heard that's what they're into. And but I don't like peanut butter, so I'm buying it in specially. You know, it's like when I go back to my mum's. You know, I'm filling the fridge for these guys. And we're living in the West End at the time as well, so it was sophisticated mice. You know, it was only 1 hour out a day as well. I'm going to Lidl for myself Waitrose on the way back for the wee guys. You know, just move, honestly.
Let's find out from our panel when nature has intruded on your life.
I once slipped on a slug and spilled a whole glass of Prosecco, raging. Absolutely raging.
I've got slugs that live in my bin. Does anyone have bin slugs?
I have been snails.
Well, yours have got a house.
Exactly.
It's
It's because I live in a very middle-class area. During lockdown, we had a rat in the garden, and I tried to phone Glasgow City Council to ask them to deal with the rat. So you phone the phone line and the voiceover says something along the lines of, if a rat is eating your face right now, press 1. If more than 50 rats have invaded your house and you are trapped in the bathroom, press 2. Otherwise, go online.
Yeah, well done. There's 2 points to Jay and Roscoe. That was Michelle Collins. Right, Stuart and Karen, it's your turn now. Who is this and why are they in the news?
So I got over here and he made me a Jedi. And then I came back the next year. We had this big arena fight scene with all these Jedi. So I said to George, you think maybe I can get a purple lightsaber?
It's Samuel L. Jackson. It's awesome.
That is Hollywood star Samuel L. Jackson, who made a surprise appearance at a bingo party night in Glasgow. The 74-year-old actor arrived unannounced at the event at the city's SWG3 on Saturday. Samuel L. Jackson is, of course, in Scotland to film serial killer movie Damaged, about a psychopath who's determined to win at all costs. Obviously, the best place to research such a role would be at a Glasgow bingo hall. What a moment this was in the past week or so. Were you surprised to see Samuel L. Jackson in Glasgow, Karen?
You sort of look at that story and you go, I mean, the actual headline is 74-year-old man goes to bingo. It's not actually as cool a headline as they're making it out to be.
It always makes me laugh, though. Like, I've lived in Glasgow for years now, and I love it here. And I love Glaswegians. I love, you know, but whenever any famous person comes here, it's like a massive news story. But Glaswegians are always talking about, you know, it's the best place on earth, it's a global city, it's amazing. And then when anyone comes here, like, what are you doing here? How can you think both? Do you know what I mean?
I know, it doesn't make sense.
I agree with Stuart. Scottish people, we get really excited, like, whenever we see famous people. Like, I once saw Sean Batty in a Caffè Nero, and I FaceTimed my mum at her work, like, look at Sean Batty in Caffè Nero. But I think it was more the fact that he was actually at the bingo. Do you know, that's a bit of a weird place. It'd be like finding Brad Pitt and Greg's, or like finding Lewis Capaldi not in Greg's. It makes a good story.
You're right, yeah, it's the location of it all. What a moment it was. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was photoshopped.
It's doing great stuff for the international bingo community. No, it's weird. No one ever, like, everyone always calls him Samuel L. Jackson. No one ever just, like, misses it. No one just goes, oh, it's Samuel Jackson. It's always Samuel L. Jackson. And you know, see the L? It actually stands for Loves Bingo.
All makes sense now, Roscoe. What else should Samuel L. Jackson do while he's here?
Karaoke at the Horseshoe Bar, because if he does that, he'll get a drink, a song, a fight and a lumber in less time than it takes to call house.
I would quite like him to star in a little thing that I've been working on. It's very much a spiritual successor to Snakes on a Plane. It's called Midges in a Motor.
After borrowing a giant marker pen from a fellow bingo player, Samuel L. Jackson surprised and delighted fans by signing autographs with his dauber. There we go. Samuel L. Jackson is the right answer, and 2 points goes to Stuart and Karen. And it's time now for our final quick-fire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. So I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
He wants to humiliate President Trump.
Well, there we go. Former Trump lawyer Brian Claypool there, apparently defending the ex-president Trump or whatever. Right, fingers on buzzers, and here we go. Half of people in the UK have not done what? Karen.
Dropped it like it's hot.
I was going to start dancing there. Half of people in the UK have not done what? Jay.
Chucked out the box, their mobile phone came in.
Oh, that's so true.
Half of people in the UK have not done what? Roscoe.
Said, oh, big stretch after the dog's done a stretch.
It's not the right answer, Roscoe, but I'm going to give you a bonus point for that. Beautiful. And a dog biscuit. Half of people in the UK have not written a will.
He wants to humiliate President Trump.
Oh, there we go. That's the klaxon. Brian is Claypooled. It means it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Jay Lafferty and Roscoe McClellan. And commiserations to Karen Barkey and Stuart McPherson. And we'll leave you with the breaking the news. Breaking news just in. The Home Office have announced they'll house about 500 adult male migrants in a barge on the Dorset coast. It's an unusual barge in it that it has wheels, wings and Rwanda Airlines written on the side. A South African pilot is being celebrated for his bravery in making an emergency landing when he discovered a venomous snake on his plane. Comments were sought from the world's foremost expert on the subject, but for some reason, he was at a bingo rave in Glasgow. And Sir Derek Jacobi has said he's shocked by high West End ticket prices, which risk making theatre an elitist pursuit. It's not so bad up here. If you want to see Hamilton, it's only £3 in ScotRail. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye!